Ready? Here we go. We're going to continue from the other garden, the other field. Mr. Wheeler, the organic farmer, going to start doing it again with what we're doing, showing you what we're doing. So here, we're going to start here with these tomatoes here. These are real small, tiny tomatoes. One's called Everglades, and the other one is Tiny Tom or something like that. But they're small. Now, they got started late. They got put in the ground late. So they're small, but they will do their thing. And hopefully they'll just give me baby tomatoes that will taste like $1 million all summer long. So down here, let's see what we have down here. Down here, we got a couple things going on. I actually got some time, a little more. I've planted those two little guys just a couple weeks ago. And then over here is one of my favorite. And they need to be broken up and replanted. But this is garlic chives. And it's really, really good. I got a friend that likes these. Now here's a wild plant. There's different names for them. 4 or 5 different names, but basically wild sorrel. And when the plants are real young, they're kind of hard to see in the wintertime, but they're small, but they taste like a real expensive little herb that we sell. And over here, we got eggplant. Now I got 2 rows of eggplant, and there's 3 different varieties. There's a long purple, there is a black, like a black beauty, and then there's one that's oh shoot, I forget, Rosa Blanca or something like that, but it's an old heirloom, purple and white stripe, and they're really super duper good. And these guys have only been in the ground just, I don't know, 3 weeks. I had a tray, and I had the school come out from down in town, and they came out with, I had 8 teenagers and 2 teachers, and we put in tomatoes, eggplant, peppers, more tomatoes, basil. We did a lot, and man, they were so wonderful to me. I was so happy with them. My potatoes have got a disease. Well, so do my eggplant. And here's one. Here's a disease that I'll have to spray with that copper spray, and I'm going to have to really keep it on heavy duty. And here's some bugs, some beetles that are no good, some bean beetles. Pop those out. So I'll be spraying these with the copper spray probably today, because I can't let that get out of hand, because these guys will grow all summer long, and I'll be eating eggplant, and I love making homemade eggplant. And when I make my eggplant, I'll have my own tomatoes, my own eggplant, and may have some garlic. But then I also grow a bunch of herbs in pots behind my house, and I will show you that in another video. So down here, we got a variety of hot peppers. I grow 3 or 4 different peppers. I try to make salsa, and I like having my own stuff. And in this row here, another one of these ugly rows. But once again, it's got a purpose. It makes flowers. Now these were red radishes that I didn't sell. They either split or whatever. They're not sellable, but no big deal. So they make my flowers, and that brings more bees. And once again, you come down here and you'll see ladybugs, and it's pretty cool. And over here, I got snow peas. It will be supposed to be. I had supposed to have snow peas and English peas. But once again, they went in the ground late. Hard freeze, record heat, and then drought. Which of course we water, but you can't. Sometimes you just don't seem to be able to. I can't water enough sometimes, and they're coming to an end. They normally don't even last this long. I kind of gave up on them. Oh, I ate a bunch, gave a bunch away. I even gave some to a friend chef, right? But they didn't do poo-poo. So this row will all be mowed down. And we'll probably plant more okra. And we might just turn to a cover crop. I don't know. We might just plant some buckwheat or some black-eyed peas. Black-eyed peas are a good cover crop in the summertime. So it'll change. It's always changing. And here's another row of peppers, and down there the volunteer squash plant, because I get wildflowers, I get free vegetables sometimes. They just come up from last year, and since most of what I grow is heirloom, they come back true.
And need a volunteer.
Heck no, I'm talking about volunteers. I need some volunteers because I can't be doing this all the time anymore. Okay, so this is ugly, but a crappy ugly. This was in this section here, from that sprinkler down here. This was it was infested with a weed. I'm gonna use a bad word, a weed from hell. It's nutsedge, and even the chemical farmers can't even get rid of it. Well, obviously, I'm not using anything, right? So we're doing experimental thing. We planted some ryegrass in the fall um, to see if we can choke it out. Um, I don't know if it'll work or not, but if not, it'll still add a lot of organic matter. And then we do another experiment, and this was to cover with black plastic. And we did that a couple of weeks ago when those kids come out to help me plant. We put it down, and it kills annual grasses and weeds like no big deal. 2 weeks, it's all dead. But unfortunately, with the weed from you know where, um, it's coming back. So what I'll have to do is I'll have to put this black plastic back down for a couple more, so you can see it right there. So I'll have to put it down for a couple more weeks and hopefully kill it. And then I'm gonna take the black plastic and put it over there on this side and leave it down for 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks. And then if this stuff keeps coming back, guess what? That black plastic goes down again. And like I said, I might not be able to grow anything here until next fall. I mean, who knows? But that's the only way for me to get rid of it, or just to give up. And I'm not giving up. I've been doing this too long. I don't give up. When you garden, you never give up. So here comes one of my favorites. Look at my tomatoes. And they're looking good, you know, semi good. They were, like I said, they only got put in the ground about 3 weeks ago. And they were about that big. And they're just going, they're happy now. And then look here. So I got my marigolds. In between every one, I got marigolds. Everyone I got marigolds. This plant's got a little wrinkle to it. It's either because it's super dry, because you know maybe the water didn't hit enough. But if I give it water and it doesn't get happy, guess what he does? You know, you got plants that have bacteria, funguses, and viruses. Now, funguses, they're pretty much, you can control them with the copper and this other stuff too, organically. Then if it's bacteria, sometimes you can treat it depending what kind of bacteria it is. But if it's a virus, guess what happens? You know how you cure the problem? You get yourself a garbage bag and you pull this plant out of the ground and it goes in the garbage, because a virus is not curable, and they will infest everything.
If you didn't get rid of it, would it spread?
Yes. Well, yeah. Okay. It'll spread. A bug will bite this one if it has a virus, and then come over here to bite on this one, and then it spreads. But the thing that's really bad is that virus will get into the dirt. So next year you'll have the same problem, and more and more and more. So when we dig it out, we lose a big old wad of dirt. I don't care. We got to get rid of it. And so I used to try to treat them, try to spray them, give them extra fertilizer, and no, they got to go. They got to go. It breaks my heart. So, but you got to do what you got to do. So over here is, once again, now this is ugly too. This is ugly too. And this is what I call my green garlic. And they're done. We'd very rarely grow the garlic to actually have a dry garlic bulb, because these are just so much better. And I sold the ones a couple of weeks ago. I sold some, and I could let them get, become a dry garlic. When the tops turn brown, that's when they're good, they're done. But I rather eat this. This is what I eat. It looks like a giant scallion, but my gosh, between this and my tomatoes and potatoes, I cook that with my potatoes, and oh my gosh, it's so good. And like I said, I don't have enough here to sell, and they're small, but I got my money's worth. What I sold paid for my garlic seed. So now here's some more stuff here. Here's some more tomato plants. And once again, I grew 3 or 4 different, maybe 5 different kind of cherry tomatoes. And then I grew 2 or 3 varieties of smaller ones. 2 of them were heirloom, and 1 was a hybrid, a Better Boy, organically seed, right? Of course, have to be that way. And then we have some purple basil. So we'll probably put a few more basil out here, 'cause I got 50 plants that will be left over from down there. Oh, and I'm talking about the basil on my other video that we just did a little while ago, and I was talking about my basil and had to go buy a hybrid seed and not a heirloom seed because I had this problem with this disease. I kept on wiping out my crop the last 3 years, and I called it powdery mildew, but it's downy mildew. It's different. I just used the wrong words. So hopefully I won't have that problem. Oh, and here's another row of ugliness, and this is some leftover arugula, and I sold some, ate a bunch, gave some away, right? And then I just let it go wild, and they're about done. I mean, it's going bye-bye probably next week or two, and then there will be seed pods, and I mean this is a real sorry example because normally it'll be solid, right? I don't know if there's any seeds in there. There may be some seeds in there. But there's some small seeds, a couple. I mean, nothing to brag about. But normally I can get a whole handful. I take a bunch of pods, I do this, smack them, and I can just lightly blow them, the pod, and I get me a little handful of arugula. That's cool. And then they come up with volunteers. Oh, as soon as it starts, when summer's over with and the ground cools off a little bit, I'll get baby arugula all popping up all over the place. But saving the seed, I can't save everything, and I do have to buy seed, but I save some because you never know. And over here, some leftover potatoes, whatever I had, had some leftover from planting over there. And what's so funny, over there, I water more often for different reasons, which unfortunately brings more disease. So look at these guys look 10 times better because, they didn't get wet as much. So they don't have nearly as much disease. They got some. Now, the ones over there, I will spray. These, I probably won't. But that right there is late blight. But it's basically natural because the varieties I grow are ready in about 60 days after they come up. There's short season, middle, and then long. Big potatoes, man, they're like 120 days, man. Those things would be gone. I mean, they would never make. So that I may spray, but probably not. And then over here, I have some carrots. And it's ugly, kind of a failed. It was my last planting of carrots and lettuce back in January and February, whenever it was. And I just gave up on them. I got some lettuce out of it, but I kept on putting my organic fertilizer down to get my lettuce going. Could be, once again, the weather was crazy. So it made my carrot tops get really big, and which is not normally good. Carrots don't need a lot of nitrogen. But there's orange ones in there. I'm mixed, but there'll be all kind of stuff in here. And now these guys, I mean, they'll still taste good. I mean, they'll still taste good. But the ones that we pick in October, well, November, December, January, and February, when we pick them in those months, the ground is cold and they're sweet. They'll taste good, but they won't have that sweetness, which is why I'll probably give these away. I'll give some to my kids so their kids can eat carrots because I've been feeding carrots to my grandkids for 30-something years. Okay, this just got replanted, and look, here comes my cucumbers, just popping up. Another one right there, another one right there, and this was lettuce too. And when I tilled it up with my little baby tiller, it didn't do a good job, but it makes no difference. And then here's some more arugula, same thing. They just ignored it and gave some away, sold a little tiny bit of it. I used to sell the flowers to some of the chefs, and I don't do that much anymore. But I will let these go, make some seed pods. So this row will get replanted, that row will get replanted, that row will get replanted, and when that garlic is out, that'll all get replanted here in a couple of weeks. So it's a little bit of everything. That's how it works. That's how it works. So talking about, let's see, we got volunteer plants from letting vegetables go to seed, let flowers go to seed. But what I need is volunteers because I need weed pickers. That's been a joke for many years. So otherwise, hopefully you got some more information that y'all can use. We're going to do a lot of videos now over the next couple of days. So I want to explain what we planted, how we planted it, what we use roughly in general. No one gives me money to advertise for their products, so I don't mention their products. And that's all cool. But everything's got to be organic, 100% organic. Otherwise, it don't go on this land. What else do we guys say? Oh, I know. Someone talked about AI. Guess what? I bet if I walk over here and I take a bite of this, I bet AI doesn't know what it tastes like. I bet it doesn't know how to grow it. And I bet it doesn't even know how to cook it. But I do. And it's good. So look, we're going to be doing some more videos over the next couple of days. So stay tuned. Like me. Subscribe to me, please. So that I know my knowledge is getting out there. And maybe some young people will be able to grow food to feed their little kids little carrots. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, y'all take care. We'll see you here in a day or two. We got a lot to teach. Thanks. Bye-bye.